So I'm going to run through my expectations for Euro USD this week. Now, last week I actually outlined what I would like to see. So the monthly here, I still think we're coming down into this here, and we've got this marked up drawn liquidity here. So if I go down into a weekly chart, what happened? So I had said last week, I've already got the chart donated here for quickness. So what I said last week was I would like to see a run up beyond this high. It was in the video from last week. So on the monthly, I'll put this here from that low to this high, the wick of this high, pull it across, and then we'll go down to the weekly. So there, this is what I had marked up on the chart. So we were here, and I said I would like to see a run up beyond this, fill in more of this fair value gap, and then start to roll over. I would like to see that to remain bearish. If we had started to close above here, then I wouldn't have been as confident or as comfortable. So in here, this tells me that this area has been respected, and the economic calendar is, let me just make the economic calendar come up. I need to hide this. Not working right. Here we go. So Forex Factory, and I'm looking ahead at this week. So Monday, there's no news. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you'll see here there's Government Bailey speaking. That's for the Bank of England, and then we've got Fed Chair Powell for America. So the Great British Pound, but that'll also affect the Euro really, and the USD. 9:30 on Wednesday and 2:15. So there's a chance that the reversal of the week comes Tuesday, Wednesday time. So with that, what I would be looking to see is we're going to open up here today at this level here. I would like to see a run up again, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, I would like to see that economic news come in and push this down lower. Now, there's a couple of things that gives me that idea. And one of them, so I've spoke before about the DXY, the US dollar index, and this is inversely correlated to Euro USD. So if you look at this, you've got the three, you've got a high here, high there, and a high there. So if we look at DXY, that's a Great British Pound, you've got a low, a low, a low. So it's working in the opposite way. And then you've got this run up on the DXY dollar, and you've got this run down on Euro. So these two are pretty much inversely correlated. So when I was looking here for Euro USD, so my thesis is that this is going to push higher. We're going to take out this high, and this high, and we're going to fill in more of this weekly fair value gap. So this is a weekly fair value gap up in here. So for me to have the idea that I think this might come up into this area. So importantly, so this here, this candle, this wick, you see that wick down? Now, when I'm looking at that, if I was wanting to remain bearish, I would really have wanted to see this 50% of this keep price down. Now, when I talk about these things, this is algorithmic theory. So if I do 0.5, and then if I go down into the daily, you'll see here, that's that level there, the 50% line is here, and we actually close just above it. So that gives me one confidence to think, well, price is going to continue up. What we've also got, another one that I would be looking at, so we've got this wick in here for the daily. So what actually happened, a lot like on Euro USD, we came into the monthly fair value gap, which you won't see here. We respected that. We've then pushed bullish daily. We left this fair value gap, and then we've came down into this fair value gap, and we pushed higher again. So to me, this is showing bullish order flow. Institutional order flow is bullish on the US dollar. So what we've actually got, if I go into the 4 hour in here as well, we've got this fair value gap that's been left on the 4 hour between this low and this high. So price is going to get drawn to here. We've got this bullish order block, and we've got this down close candle. That's the bullish order block there. So there's a couple of things here to potentially support price. Do we come down and take out last week's low here, Thursday, even down as far as Monday? So Monday was here. Yeah, Monday's low was way down here. Do I think we're going to come that low? I don't, but I will remain nimble and I'll be watching. Probably looking at the economic calendar, I'm probably not going to trade Monday. I'll see how Monday opens up. If I come back down to Euro USD, so what I actually wrote here, again, so think about everything opposite. So I've got the consequent encroachment of the weekly wick. So this here is a weekly candle wick. Now, it's important when you've got a thesis that you've also got invalidation levels. So things that might happen in the market where you go, oh, wait a minute, I can't marry my bias here. I need to see what the market's saying, and then I could reevaluate my thesis. So for me, we've got this one, which is the wick of last week. So that's the C, consequent encroachment is 50% of that. So in this area, if price starts to come down and closing below this level, and I've also got the mean threshold again, that's 50% of the 4 hour order block. So if I go 4 hour, this is just the opposite. So you've got this order block here. So I would like to see this get disrespected. So I'm wanting to see price, not at the start of the week. I think at the start of the week, we're going to come up the way back into these sort of areas. Do we come up as high as here? Yeah, I think so. Monday, Tuesday. This is what I would like to see, but obviously I've got my 2 levels. So really, this monthly fair value gap that I've got denoted here, so this blue, just above here actually, let me just delete that. So here, the monthly fair value gap runs from here to here. So if the start of the week we start to come down, and then come Tuesday, Wednesday, our weekly profile is we've came down to start with, then probably my bias is going to be, well, wait a minute, I was probably wrong here because I can't see it just trading down the way. So you've also got this here. So it touched into the bullish order block, it touched again, and it's touched again. So it's taken liquidity 3 times. So really, it's a bit iffy. But probably by Tuesday, Wednesday, and this is important, that you assess things, you see what you express what you want to see, and then you let the market play out to then see which way it's going to go. Because it could ultimately start to run up here, take these by Monday, Tuesday, I'll be looking for then downside. If the start of the week we start to come down, come into the mean threshold of this 4 hour order block, then we start to close down below, it's going to throw things out a bit. But initially, people will say, oh, well, you're not really picking a side there. But when it's in this sort of region, it's difficult. So ultimately, I do think we're bearish. That's what my thoughts are. So this week, I want to see this travel back up here, maybe take out some of these highs. There's actually something that I quite like. So 4 hour we're on. So if I go back to the 60-minute chart, so you've got this old high up here, and there's just in here between that low, that candle's low, and the top of this 4 hour fair value gap. So if you take probably up here, that's actually just a nice fair value gap above this high. But I'll wait and see if the market comes up into this area. If it does, I'll probably be looking to sell because this is a high from last week, and I would just cover this high and maybe cover this high. So it would be a large stop loss, but there's a lot of potential downside. So just for example, if I put here and say, right, just above this high, there's that, and I cover my stop loss, just say 50 pip stop loss, and then my target would be all the way down here, because this is like a swing trade, if you like. So down to these lows, and really, if we're coming down this far, I'm probably looking at targeting the very bottom lows. So potentially you're looking at, well, 5.5. So you put £100 on this trade, potentially you make 550. So that's something that I'm going to watch for this week. But like I say, I'm going to see how the market opens, and I'm going to be nimble. I've got this level here, and then if we start to move further higher into the monthly fair value gap, then I'll be a bit more skeptical as to whether I am still quite bearish. Although we start to have this run up, I still feel like it's going to roll over. There's a lot of liquidity below here, so I'm going to watch the DXY. We could potentially come down into the here, but this is nice. The fact that price just came into this. If I actually put the 50% on here as well, middle line, it'll just come down roughly to it, and then it took off. So I would like to see this kind of hold. We might just consolidate, some sort of consolidation down into here, and then we push higher, which is further down on euro. But that's it for the week. I'll do a midweek update probably for going into Wednesday, when we start getting the Fed and the Bank of England speaking, because ultimately it's that stuff that fuels the moves. You just need to look at the structure, try and read the structure, and then you could anticipate what's going to happen come the news events. So that's it. It's not a dead set, but I'm giving this an average. I'm giving the levels just to show what I'm thinking. But again, what I'm hoping to see start of the week, we open on euro, we start to move up through the levels, we start to come up to here, and then for the news coming later in the week, that's what drives us further down. But you've got this 4-hour fair value gap in here. I think that'll probably get traded to quite early. I can't see it. I can't see price just come into here and then rolling over. I think we'll probably get a more exaggerated move higher and then down. But we'll wait and see. I've got two sides that I've got outlined, and we'll wait and see what the market does, because it is, although we've come into this monthly fair value gap, pretty much the structure is looking quite bearish. But then here, this makes it look like, well, does it really want to go lower? And DXY in the opposite direction. Interestingly, so what we've done here is we actually ran above here. We've broke structure on DXY, but we've not actually done that yet on euro. So there's a break of structure. So that in there. We've broke above this old high and we've closed above it. Now, if I come down into euro, well, there was that, and the DXY, that's that high there, and you'll see we've not actually broke below it. So DXY looks like it's pushing to wanting to go higher, but euro looks like it's a bit more resistant. So again, we've got these relative equal highs on DXY that I just think it's too clean. Liquidity draw. So I'm looking for down into here someplace and then move higher. Up into here someplace and move lower. Okay, doke. Yeah, all good.